There he is. Hey, Sam.
Hello, Mike. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you too, buddy.
For your information, my job coach Emily, my direct support professional Kirk, and my dad are also on this Zoom call. Kirk is supporting me, Emily is observing the interview, and my dad is recording the interview for me.
Excellent. Hello, everybody.
I use a communication device to communicate and have pre-programmed questions for the interview in advance. I can also speak, but it takes a lot of energy and it can be hard to understand me. Feel free to ask me to repeat myself if you do not understand me.
Will do.
Before we start, I just wanted to say that I understood that things got really busy for the Fisher Cats last summer, and it didn't work out for me to do the work-based learning experience. I really appreciate you taking the time today to be interviewed during this pandemic. I hope baseball starts back up soon, and I will be very excited when I can eventually go back to watch a Fisher Cats game.
You and me both. Samuel, you and me both. I can't wait. It's been interesting times for sure.
What is your current role with the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, and what are your main responsibilities?
So I'm the team president, and I oversee the entire operation here at Delta Dental Stadium, from ticket sales to advertising to customer experience to the relationships with Blue Jays. So I act as the liaison, communicating to the Blue Jays when they have player transactions, someone's coming here, or there's something in particular that they need. I work as that person. And I oversee a staff of about 29 people.
How long have you worked as team president?
So this is my 4th season as team president. I started the fall of 2016. I took over as team president. I started the fall of 2006. I'm in my 14th year with the organization.
How did you begin your career?
Great story. Great question. My son's godfather was the director of food and beverage at the time for the company. And Art Solomon had just purchased the team from Drew Weber, and Rick Brenner was the team president. And they were looking for career salespeople, not necessarily baseball people, but career salespeople. So I was at the time working for Poland Spring, or Nestle under the Poland Spring brand. I had worked there for 10 years. I said, sure, like who wouldn't be interested in interviewing for a baseball team? So I gave it a shot, interviewed, and started as the director of ticket sales. So really I'm kind of unique story where I didn't grow up wanting to work in sports. I actually wanted to be a police officer, and life kind of happened, and I ended up getting into sales and working here. And look at me now. I have zero regrets. I love my job. I love what I can do. I love helping staff grow. I love working with the community. And I know that's a long-winded question, but that's how I got started. I got started from my son's godfather introducing me to baseball, and I'm not even a baseball fan. I think I've said that to you last time we met. I love people. That's why I do what I do. Is because this, under normal times, puts me in front of a lot of people that we get to give back to, whether it's entertainment or a community-based, supporting nonprofits, donations, and so on and so forth.
How did your previous work experiences help you in your current role as team president?
So It helped me in the way that when I worked for Poland Spring, I was probably one of the youngest people in the sales team working for that organization. And then when I shifted to baseball, I was one of the oldest people, that was employed here. So kind of brought me that professional maturity. I work with others. Teamwork was really a big thing. It was a big thing with Nestle. It's a big thing basically everywhere you work now. But obviously in minor league baseball, we all have to work together. We're all at, picture a cog wheel, and we're all one cog on that wheel in this department. We all need each other to be successful, from concessions, ticket sales, box office, operations, um, merchandise. We all need to be there for each other. Grounds crew. If one of those things starts to fail, then the whole thing will start to crumble apart. So it's so important that everybody stays together. So my previous job kind of taught me how to work well with a team, interact with people, manage people, and I think that's helped me be successful since I've been in Cats organization.
What are some common career paths in your field?
Well, a lot of people will work their way up. I think what's unique, in our business, you see a lot of people that bounce all over the country trying to get to their dream job, whether it be becoming a general manager, president, radio broadcaster, turf crew, kind of go where the opportunity is. Typically, you'll see people go from double A to the majors, triple A, and so on and so forth. So whether you want to be on the radio, you look at a lot of those guys that are the radio broadcasters. And those guys start in low A and work their way up. And think about it. There's only 160 for minor league teams, 160 teams currently. So there's only 160 of those particular jobs that people have to compete for. So a lot of times you'll see in that scenario someone going and just sometimes they only make it to double A, sometimes they only make it to triple A, or they leave the baseball industry altogether and go into a different sport. I don't know if that answers your question.
What kind of challenges do you experience at work?
So I'll answer that two different ways. I'll answer it pre-COVID and I'll answer it post-COVID. Pre-COVID challenges, it's a lot of, you got to there's a lot of moving pieces and it's a very fast-paced environment. So keeping morale and staff energized, morale high, keeping employees engaged can definitely be challenging when you get towards the latter part of the summer, because if we're working 70 games, a lot of times we'll come in 9:30, 8:30, and we don't leave until 10:30 at night. So that can, that is a tendency to get people to burn out, and there's things that we've done as an organization to help staff by giving long weekends, come in late, different events that we do together as a staff to build that bond. Just keeping keeping staff happy. That's probably one of the biggest challenges. And I love it. I love to see growth. I love to see people thrive in their positions and move on. If somebody leaves me for a different job or the organization, I feel good about that. Help the person take their next step in their career, as you asked in your previous question. Post-COVID or during COVID, challenges are just trying to, two words that I use now: adapt and adjust everything that we do. We have an idea. We're trying to reinvent ourselves, Samuel. We're trying to come up with ways to generate revenue and still be there for our community and let them know that we're here without having baseball. We are definitely reinventing ourselves, whether it be hosting graduations at the ballpark. So we've got 10 of them scheduled. We've already done 5, and we have a couple more in the works. We're working on fireworks, to have fireworks here at the stadium. A movie night, like on a Saturday. People come here and sit on the field and in the stands because we can provide the social distancing and meet the guidelines and just give people an outlet to do something, right? Show them that we're here, the state's starting to open up, we're starting to get back to that new normal. So the big challenge now is really still staying on the employee end of it being positive, being the upbeat, optimistic person. Like, hey, we're going to get through it, and this is how we're going to do it. At the same time, juggling the moving pieces. Every day, something changes, and you just have to be very well informed and stay on top of it so you don't fall behind.
What is your favorite part of your job?
Favorite part of my job is the community. I've always said that over the years, everyone that I would talk to, it's just being able to work for an organization that cares so much about the people in this community. My head hits the pillow at night. I feel really good at the ways that we're able to give back. A ticket donation, whether it be supporting a nonprofit or a fundraiser, whether it's hosting Manchester Goes Back to School event here at the ballpark, the Granite State baseball dinner that we do in partnership with Delta Dental. Just the way that we can give back and help the community that supported us over the past 15, 16 years. That's what I love. If you wanted one word, I'd tell you people. The people that you office staff to the people that you meet that come into the ballpark like yourself just to enjoy a Fisher Cats game. That's my favorite part of the job and what I like the most.
What has been your most memorable moment as team president of the Fisher Cats?
There's so many. The first thing that popped into my mind was when we won the championship in 2018. That was a really special group of guys on the field, as well as guys and girls off the field, for front office staff. Going and having Vladimir Guerrero, Bo Bichette, and Kevin Biggio, having those three, two of them Hall of Famers, children, and with Dante, former Red Sox, these were high caliber players. And on top of that, just tremendous coaching staff led by John Schneider. That was probably my most memorable moment, is being in the dugout after they won the championship, having my kids with me, having my staff with me, celebrating that we did it. Every 7 years, it's what it seems to take. We won in 2004, 2011, and then in 2018. But that's probably the one that sticks out the most. Is the most favorite moment, probably the most recent, is just to be a part of a championship team like that, both on and off the field.
How has COVID-19 impacted your life?
I don't know if we have enough time. It's impacted my life in many ways, Samuel. From a personal standpoint, I'm a father of 4 kids. It's 7 to 18. I have a wife that's a high school educator. So being there for them, being a leader for them, providing for them with this uncertainty. Same thing with, the staff, being there, trying to, as I mentioned earlier, reinvent ourselves, adapt and adjust, so that we can keep our staff employed. It's really changed. It's changed everything about life right now, from a personal and professional. The anxiety, the stress, it's all there. It's all real, And this is definitely, the pandemic has um, taught me a lot. It, I think that every single one of us, what we go through, or what we are going through with this, from a personal and professional standpoint, is going to make us a better person in the long run. But right now, it's very hard. It's very hard to, you know, 13, 14 weeks into this, 15 weeks, to still be optimistic. It's a lot of energy, and you just you just got to remember why. I have to, remind myself, why are you here? What are you doing? What do you want to come out of this pandemic for yourself, your family, and your staff? And I'm just trying to turn over every rock and find out everything that we do, ask the questions, so at least when we get to the end, I know that I tried. Um, but this is not, it hasn't been fun, but we're trying to make the best of it. We're trying to be there for our community and for our fans. And I couldn't be more proud of the staff that I have working for me, through this, because working remotely is something we, especially in this industry, never thought in a million years that this is what we'd be doing. Uh, it's Zoom, right? Who knew what Zoom was 6 months ago, right? I had no idea. And now I love getting on Zoom because you get to see somebody. As obviously as everything starts to slowly open back up, you're starting to see more and more people, but it's not the same as it used to be. And who knows if it ever will be. And it'll change our business. The kind of the way that we go about running our business, from transactions, ticket office, to the concession stands, to how we seat fans in the ballpark. It's going to impact us for a few years to come.
How has COVID-19 affected your job and organization?
It's made it hard, a lot harder. The organization, it's we live and survive off of baseball games and fans and butts and seats. When people are in the ballpark, they're buying merchandise, buying tickets to get in, buying merchandise, concessions, and seeing the advertisements from the sponsors. And without knowing if we're going to have baseball in 2020 or not, it's our main revenue source. So without baseball, we have zero revenue coming in, which is why we're trying to come up with these other ideas and reinvent ourselves, because we gotta strive to survive, right? It's just, the organization is healthy still. When you're counting on 350 plus thousand people a year coming out to the ballpark, and that goes to zero, um, it impacts us a lot, and that's why it's important for us to stay relevant with the community. Because you look at, if we don't play baseball this year, you're gonna go 18 months without baseball, professional baseball in the state of New Hampshire, and that's a long time.
Are you working from home now due to COVID-19? Have you been able to keep in contact with the players and members of your organization?
So we just opened the office this week. So I had been working remotely every day, with the exception of one day a week. I would come in, stop at the post office, and get the mail. I only had 2 or 3 people that were here on a regular basis for field crew and stadium operations, just to make sure that the building was okay and that they were getting different odds and ends taken care of. Thank you to Zoom. We have been able to stay in touch with our, obviously the front office staff. I'm staying very, very much engaged with them. Just talking through things together. From the player standpoint, we've had several guys on our media team reach out to players for interviews and content to put on social media. I've stayed in contact with the Blue Jays, just to let them know we're here if they need anything, and if they call me for a question, I'm able to help them, or if I have something for them, they can help me. So although it's been different, I think we've done a good job staying in touch with the front office staff and our parent club with the Toronto Blue Jays. And then if I can add to Samuel's, I think my the staff that we have here working on ticket sales, from our account executives and our sales academy, they've done an unbelievable job staying connected with our fans. When this pandemic hit, the plan was, all right, we're not selling anybody. We just want people to know we're here for them. So we'd called every single person, from season ticket holders to sponsors to mini plan holders and eventually to individual ticket holders. Just let them know, hey, we're here. We're here for you, even just to talk. We want you to know we're going to get through it together. We're going to be here, on the backside of this. And so the communication was key, right? It was the most important thing that we could do from a business perspective, of just letting people know that we understand that there's a pandemic going on and that we are going to work with them, and make sure that everybody's taken care of.
How have the Fisher Cats players been impacted due to COVID-19?
Well, ironically, I don't know who the players would be yet, because this happened before spring training was over. So it was before they were even able to split the players into major league and minor league camp. So you have an idea of some of the players that would potentially be coming back, but we didn't have a roster. We had no idea who we'd be getting, except for just the coaching staff. We were excited to welcome Cesar Martin to New Hampshire to show him what we're all about, and what our fans are like. But as far as the players, I really can't speak to them, because I don't know everyone that we'd have. We don't know who we'd have on the roster, but I know that those guys, at least through May, I don't know where they are now within the Blue Jays. But I know that the Blue Jays had kept them on through the month of May. I just don't know how many are on the minor league level are still with the team right now due to COVID.
What did a typical workday look like for you before COVID-19, and what does it look like now?
So a typical workday during a homestand, would come in the morning, get my emails, make sure that we were all set up for our fans coming out to the ballpark later on the day, where reaching out to sponsors, getting them set up for the home stand that we were about to head into, and actually looking ahead for the future homestand. And then once 2 hours before game time, so if it was a 7 o'clock game time, at 5 o'clock we put on our game day hat and go out and greet our fans and welcome them into the ballpark and do things. So that was the game. It was busy, right? You were always doing something. It was very, very, very fast paced. We're now during COVID. We're working remotely. We don't have baseball, so it's a lot different. Come in, 8:30, work 8:30 to 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Unless we have a graduation, then we'll stay later or come in later. It's definitely, you're not working the typical hours that you would normally work in a minor league season. So it's definitely affected it that way. It's not as much going on. We're trying to find different ways and different things to do.
Due to the pandemic and without baseball, has it been more difficult maintaining the team's connection with the local community?
Yeah, I think it's been different, right? We've done a good job, as I mentioned earlier, staying in touch with the community by extending our reading challenge program. When this pandemic hit, that was actually the day that the governor made the announcement that we were going to close things down. We decided that was the day that our reading challenge was going to end. So then we had to extend it. We said, you know what, let's be there. We know these students are going to be home. Let's extend it for 30 days and give the parents another tool to keep kids engaged with the community. We immediately reached out to all of our restaurant partners when we knew that was going, that was going to change. How can we help you if you're open for takeout? So we take our email database and we email out once a week the different restaurants that we partner with and what they're offering for takeout to help them out, because it wasn't just about us, it was about helping everybody that's been there for us. And I think with having the 9 people here on the front lines reaching out to the ticket holders with, we did a backyard baseball. I don't know if you got to see it on social media, where our radio announcers would actually, they dubbed someone would be playing baseball in their backyard and they would announce the game for them. They send the recording and then we post them on social media. We're trying to do a lot of fun things that way to keep people engaged. Moving our STEM, our education days, STEM days, moving that virtual. We did that, which was a good success. So I think that I'm proud of the staff for what they've done. They engage with the community during this time because we know it's so important to do so.
Have you been able to utilize the Northeast Delta Dental Stadium for social distanced events?
Yes, graduations were the first events that we were able to host. We started those not last Sunday, the Sunday before. So we've done several graduations. We're able to socially distance, have our baseball clinics here. We started that on Monday. So half day kids come in and just skills for baseball. So there's a lot of things that we have already been able to do, and there's a whole bunch of other things, events, that we're working on trying to get here at the ballpark, because it's kind of unique. The way that we're set up is we can have events of a good size and properly social distance our fans and be safe about it. So it's a matter of getting that word out and getting for us to be able to do that.
What kind of safety and health guidelines do you expect for fans when they can eventually come back to watch baseball?
Well, I think it's constantly changing. I can only speak to the safety guidelines that are put out now. Again, proper social distancing, wearing face masks when moving about your seat to prevent the potential spread of COVID-19, wiping down high traffic areas, countertops, making sure the restrooms are being cleaned on a routine basis, more routine than they are now, right? Stepping that up, disinfecting the stadium after every single event, working with our cleaning company to make sure that gets done, wiping down railings throughout the game. We care about them. We care about their safety. Safety has always been our number one priority when it comes to fans and our staff. And that was pre-COVID, and that certainly isn't going to go away. It's only going to be enhanced post-COVID, just making sure that our fans know that when they choose to come out to the ballpark, that it's a safe environment for them.
Thanks, Mike, for that interview. It was great speaking with you. Could you send me a picture of you as the team president of the Fisher Cats? I will use it when my interview gets published for the Monitor.
I can certainly do that for you, Samuel. That is awesome. What year was that?
Do you know?
Fungo's Funland Kids area. So that had to be 2005 or 4 even, right? 4 or 5, maybe even 6. Wow, that's awesome. I love it.
I will let you know when the interview gets published. Thanks again.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Okay. Thanks very much. Thanks, Mike. Thanks a lot for your time. This is Samuel's dad. Thank you.
No, thank you. And if there's anything else you guys need, just reach out, okay?
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye, Samuel.
Yeah. See ya.
All right, have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks.